Greetings to you, Crocoduck Army! It's been a while since I've had any Christian angry enough with me to give me more than a moment's thought. These days it seems to be mostly right-wingers and people who have a keen interest in the SJW wars on one side or another that leave me angry comments, usually ending with some variation of the angry dude on the internet insult of the month. Sometimes I have to look up the meanings because, alas, I'm way too old to eat Tide Pods now. Oddly, based on the insults, a lot of people use a word that seems to mean that they want me to bang their wife. I don't know. Anyway, Godless Engineer told me that Max Kolbe, which I guess is the name that Dean Esmay uses, was talking about me on his live stream. He was critiquing a video that I made for Mr. Repzion's channel back in 2014 and giving me a piece of his mind. I had heard his name before, and when I looked it up, I found that he's apparently well known in MRA circles. Maybe someday I'll feel enough like a victim to check it out, but probably not. They went into a lot of detail about my video and about how theologically I was way off base in many areas. Now, unlike most YouTube atheists, I was never a Christian, and at no point in my life did I ever believe in a deity, so it's certainly possible that I missed some nuances of what the true Christian lore is. Of course, with all the different sects of Christianity out there, how would anyone even know which one is true? Anyway, correcting me on this is really about the same as correcting me on my understanding of Star Wars lore. Yes, I've seen basically all of the movies, and maybe Han shot first, which is fine, but it doesn't help convince me that the lore is actually something real. He says that he's an ex-atheist, so I'm curious what he would have thought of his analysis back then. Anyway, not surprisingly, when he went looking for a religion, he picked his local, culturally appropriate choice, Christianity. Apparently a pretty angry strain of it, too. I've made videos to several different Christians over the years. Sometimes they're ignored or they're mildly annoyed, but I don't think I've ever saw anyone get so upset before, and the video wasn't even directed to anyone in particular. He said, and I quote, "Zonstar is a horrible person and his fans are scum." He obviously doesn't know me or you in the Crocoduck Army very well, because coincidentally I'm probably one of the relatively few YouTube atheists who wouldn't particularly see it as a badge of honor for an angry YouTube Christian to tell them that. I just don't have enough to be angry about, I guess, and I'd much rather help people be happy than angry. I also found it interesting that he stopped critiquing the video about 3/4 of the way through, just before the part where I was encouraging atheist love and support to help people feel better about themselves to inoculate themselves from religion. That part was not convenient to his narrative. In his brand of what he calls red-pilled religion, he says that atheists really do hate Christians, and they want the culture to eliminate them, personally. That seems a little odd coming from someone in a country that's 80% Christian, but yes, I'm sure there are some not true Christians in that number, according to him. The Christian persecution complex runs deep. Maybe he's counting Obama as Muslim too, I don't know. He further thinks that atheists are not entitled to respect, trust, or friendship from Christians. Well, on that he's correct. Nobody's particularly entitled to that, but I'm not sure why that needs to apply to Christians especially. The subtext is, of course, that they should avoid it, which is made more clear by the third tenet, which is that the first two tenets add up to enormous danger. It's not every day that someone describes me as dangerous, but okay, sure. "That Zonstar is very intimidating," said nobody ever. So where does that leave us as atheists? Well, really no different than we were a few days ago. It's not exactly a newsflash that there are angry people on the internet, but Dean and his co-hosts even dragged Mr. Repzion and his family into the argument, because the video was on Daniel's channel. I'm not sure if he realizes that Daniel and I have been friends since he was a Christian, and that I made the video myself with no specific direction from Daniel at all. Fortunately, I still have plenty of Christian friends and relatives who don't subscribe to this trench warfare style of Christianity. I linked Dean's live stream video in the info bar. Take a look and comment if you wish, not to troll or give him the hate that he seems to expect, but simply to be counted as someone who didn't become an outspoken atheist and break down barriers just to dig themselves their own little ideological pure bunker to lob insults at people. I'm not going to put myself on your persecution cross, Dean.